Martio here. Welcome to another retro ranking where we just concentrate on songs and do top 10s and 20s and whatever. Now today is actually a viewer's request, and it was a request from Alan Joyce. He asked me to do Bucks Fizz. Now, I'm going to be quite honest, I'm not the greatest fan of Bucks Fizz, and I thought I'd struggle to find top 10 songs. Because when Alan suggested this, I could only think of 3 or 4 that I really were okay. But this has been a real tester for me, and I've actually enjoyed doing this. And I've discovered that they're really good singers, and they did make some, when you analyse this, they really made some good pop songs. So Bucks Fizz, they're a British pop group, of course, put together specifically for the Eurovision Song Contest in 1981. And the band was Bobby G, Cheryl Baker, Mike Nolan and Jay Aston. Now Cheryl Baker went on to do Record Breakers and all sorts. I don't know if they're still around now. Jay left, so Shelley Preston come in, and then one of them, I can't remember which one, left. Then that bloke from Dollar came in, and there's 2 sort of versions, I think, now. There's Bobby G's version of Bucks Fizz, and then there's the Fizz, which comprises of 3 other the original members now, which are Cheryl, Mike and Jay, because since I don't think they can call it Bucks Fizz, because I think Bobby G sort of owns the name. So they're still sort of going, which is pretty cool. So here are my top 10 songs by Bucks Fizz, and I have got some honourable mentions. You know, I had to deep dive into the catalogue for this. So here we go. So coming in at number 10, we start off in 1981 for a track that got to number 12 in the UK. They had a bit of success, a lot of success in the UK and Europe, but nowhere else really. And this is its Piece of the Action. That's quite quirky, catchy. I like the guitar work in this. So yeah, not a bad track. Now, coming in at number 9, we got a 1985. Got to 57 in the charts, and it's called Magical. This is quite rocky for them, and I think it's probably even better some of the rock bands did at the time. You know, I'd never, you know me and my production on 80s rock tracks, I don't particularly fond of it. But this sounds pretty good, and it's not a bad track actually. Now, coming in at number 8. Now, this is from 1983, and it's the B-side of a track called Side Rules of the Game. Now, I do hear about this because when I was at my youth club, I was sort of in charge of the music. Well, why wouldn't I? For my love of music, so I used to sort of run the discos and all that sort of thing. And when we got new singles, because one of our leaders, Iain, must have had a little deal with somebody because he kept just turning up with bags of new singles, and I always used to play the B-side, and this is the B-side of this Rules of Game, and it's called When We Were at War. I think it's better than the A-side. It's really, really different. Totally different from what they did, their pop songs. It's really good harmonies on this, and I quite like that track, and I've always remembered that one. That is one of the tracks that I remembered. Okay, then coming in at number 7, we've got 1984 now. Number 15 in the charts, Talking in Your Sleep. It's got a great guitar, 1980s guitar riff in this, and the singing is really, really good. Like that track, very catchy. Coming in number 6, Now, if you've watched the number ones of the 80s with Richard, this is one of the songs that he featured, and it's The Land of Make Believe. Got to number one. Just one of their memorable songs from the 80s, really. Really nice words. Bit poppy. The only thing that sort of spoils it is the cheesy bit at the end with the little girl, as we discussed on Saturday. But yes, Richard, it did make my top 10. Had to, didn't it? One of the great number ones of the year. Okay, then coming in at number 5, go back to 1984, a song that got to number 42 in the charts, and it's Golden Days. It's a real pleasant song. I didn't know much about this one, but when I put it on, because I cheated, the first thing I did was put on a greatest hits album that I found on Spotify, and sort of sat there and listened to it and just made notes. And this is one of the songs that really stood out for me. It was a little bit different for them. A very unusual pop song, but very good words and very well put together. Great track. Okay, then coming at number 4, go back to 1982, another top 10 hit for them. Got to number 8. Now Those Days Are Gone. When this band was put together, whoever put them together put 4 singers that could harmonise together. They really complemented each other, and this is one of their finest pieces of work, I think. The vocal harmonies on this is really good, and I do like this track. It's one of the ones I really do like. So coming in at number 3, staying 1982, got to number 10. If You Can't Stand the Heat. Very catchy pop song this is, and I think Cheryl and Jay sound great here. Probably their best vocal together. Really complement each other. Different vocal parts, and they sound really good together. So coming in at number 2. Now, most people thought this may have been my number 1, but it ain't. Go to 1981, and it's the one that started it all for them. Got to number 1, Making Your Mind Up. Everybody knows this one. It was the one that won the Eurovision Song Contest. Got fond memories of this Eurovision Song Contest because I was in hospital at the time. I'd had a back operation. I was in hospital until this was years ago. In 1981, I was in hospital for 3 months, and obviously it was over Easter and bank holidays, and most of the ward, I think this was with the bank holiday, most of the children's ward was gutted. There was only about 3 patients. There's me, there was 2 lads and the girl, and what they did for that weekend, they brought her up to our end and they shut off the girls' bit. And on the Saturday night, we all sat there and watched the Eurovision Song Contest. They got food in. We had a bit of a party, which was really nice, because when you're in it's an orthopaedic hospital ward, so you're not poorly, you just got things wrong with your limbs, and we had a great time and we all enjoyed watching this. So it was a great memories, and it's a great song. So my number 1 comes from 1983. It got to number 10, and it is When We Were Young. I love the harmonies in this. I think it's a really, really good track. When Alan said about do the top 10, this one went straight in onto the pack because I love this song, and it's one of my top 20 songs from the 1980s, I think. I just love the harmonies in this. You got the guys. Sounds like a modern day barbershop quartet. That's the only way I can describe it. Really good song, very memorable. And I did find some honourable mentions going through this. So once I'd gone through the singles, I decided to just quickly go through the albums. I did a quick flick, and ones I liked, I sort of ticked, and then I listened to them all the way through. And one of them songs is from the album Are You Ready from 1982, and it's 20th Century Hero. It's a bit of a rock and rolly type track, and I think that's why I like it. And if you dive into their albums, there are some really interesting tracks that are not very poppy, but really solid tracks, and this is one of them. Really good track. Okay, my next one is actually one of their number ones from 1982, and it's My Camera Never Lies. It nearly got into my top 10, but it's sort of hovering at on the borders of the top 10. I do like the harmonising in this again. It's really good. It's a very catchy tune. And my final one today is another song that was charted. Only got to number 34 in 1983. And it's called London Town. I quite like that track. It's got some good vocals on here. And it's got that sense of feel of a bit of London-y sort of thing. You know, a bit of sort of thing, you know. Don't know how to describe that, but it's a really good song. And what I like about this, it's got a fantastic guitar solo in it. It's probably why I've put it in my honourable mentions, because of the guitar solo, which is pretty cracking. So there we go. A tough one, but a quite an enjoyable one for me. Hope you like it, Alan. I know you can't comment for some reason at the moment, but hope you enjoy that. That's all for today, folks. We'll be back tomorrow, of course. It's Wednesday, which means the marathon, and this is one that I've put in of a band that I really like. Well, there's two. It's one of them bands where I like the beginning, not keen on the middle, and love the end. Well, the middle bit, and then they sort of fizzled out again. We're talking about a band that changed their direction so many times. It's the brilliant Fleetwood Mac. So we'll be looking at the studio albums of Fleetwood Mac tomorrow. Hope you can join me for that, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Bye for now.